we've progressed through door number 3. And it seems like we're not going to go through either of the other doors. So I expect that that will maybe change how we can progress here. When we go back and go through door number 8, I expect Clover to come with Junpei and Lotus. I think that's how it'll work, because I think Lotus will refuse to go anywhere else. Yes, so that's interesting then. So maybe we'll still get a chance to talk to Clover on her own, like we did when we were with 7 through door 7. But maybe Clover will, Lotus will have a different influence on the conversation. Who knows? But this current path we're on seems a little bit more chaotic. So by going through door number 5, was it? I can't remember. But by going with Snake, no, through door 4. By going with Snake and 7, we definitely didn't get much extra information or useful stories or anything like the other journey, the journey through door 5, where you know, in complete contrast, really, door 5, we got loads of stuff. We got like detailed stories from all 3 people who were with us in the room, which is the interesting thing. Whereas I suppose as a consequence of only going through with 2 people and not 3, there was less chance of that. And then going through door 3 here, this interestingly seems to be the ultimate June and Junpei romance path. Maybe we'd obviously need to go with her through door 5 and then go through door 3 to really cement things. Maybe she would tell us something different. Yeah, we'll probably have to go through this again. Go through door 5 and then door 3 just to see if her spilling the beans on the Titanic stuff makes any difference. I'm not sure. But going through door 8 might not make much of a difference. I don't think it will, because it's going to end up back at this central point, whereas this, it seems, skips this bit entirely. So oh right, so the fact that these are crossed out, does that mean on this particular run through I don't have this key information? Interesting. Yeah, maximum chaos here, I think. But we don't even get another bit here. And the last thing I want to check is, so what door did, when we go through the next set of doors, I obviously went through door number 1, but Santa, Lotus, and 7, and June went through door 6. So door 6 is where the golden gun is. Interesting. Alright. Let's keep going.
Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
Oh yeah, there's a button to skip dialogue, but it will stop at new dialogue.
When we all split up to...
Why don't you calm down a bit, 7?
Oh, wait.
And you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each...
Oh, see, no, that's all skip.
Should doubt.
Good question.
Yeah, let's say of course. Of course he was. That was that was obvious. Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Yes, I don't know. You guys said that the skip button would always stop at new text, but then one of you also said that where was the oh, it's here. So does all skip just mow through everything? Where could he be hiding? Suddenly everyone went quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again he heard the ghost moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. Maybe she still wants to go and see the body. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Everyone froze. The only sound was muffled rustling of breath. I'm gonna go through this in advanced adventure mode. Let's try the new option. This run through seems a bit more chaotic.
That's crazy. Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive.
So the interesting thing by her saying that is that she's been in a Nonary game before. So was the game runner part of her previous Nonary game as well?
You don't believe me.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Clover,
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us. But you have to understand. The more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Maybe she won't trust us if we do this, you know, after we've spoken to her and gained her trust.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. 7. Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you? We must go. We have very little time left.
Our next destination is Mercury. Here we go.
Oh, that's the...
Yeah, I found it in the shower room.
Oh, I see. It's got the Mercury symbol.
Detectives, one and all.
Now we can go.
So does this lead directly to door
Looks like
number
there's only
9?
2 floor buttons working.
C and bottom. Time to head down then.
This leads directly to door number 9, doesn't it? No.
This is a numbered door.
Yeah, it's door 2.
More detectives. Detective work.
So who should go through the door this time?
We don't need to be discussing who we're leaving behind this time, right?
Right. It's set up so we'll be able to meet up again once we get through the numbered doors.
Then there's no need for arguments at this point.
Right, this seems new.
We should figure out who's going in first.
Very well. Would anyone like to volunteer?
I'll do it.
The first to speak up was 7.
I'll go too.
12.
And I suppose I need to go too then.
Oh! What? No, you don't. We could take... June, Santa, and Ace instead. Oh man, why do we have to do it in a group of 3? Couldn't we do what I wanted? For once. See? More minds, more...
All right, we're taking off.
Wow, this is moving really fast then.
Okay, please be careful.
Jesus. You two are acting like you're married, you know that?
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
Oh,
Get me out of here! Lock me in! 7!
Don't be silly. Cut it out.
Hide me in your dungarees! Perhaps in an attempt to hide his emotions, he quickly turned away to pull the lever on the red. The door opens. As they'd come to expect, there appeared to be a short hallway on the other side. So, this is the end of the road.
All right, let's go.
Lotus was the first through the door.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
7 was next, and Junpei brought up the rear. In his pedal pushers.
Where the hell is it this time?
I don't see it!
Oh, there it is. It's right there.
Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it quickly and scanned each of their bracelets. Ha!
It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast.
Man, I'll never get used to that.
You don't have to. The game lasts for 9 hours, dude.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to.
But you can't. It's not an option. Stop. It's not an option to get used to.
We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
No. 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 Just stop. Like, this entire line of discussion is an oxymoron. Like, imminent death cannot be a normal thing, because if your death is imminent, then you are dead. And oh,
Damn right.
no,
Right.
no. Lotus, slap him again. Please. Junpei looked around again.
This hallway's pretty short, but it's got 5 doors. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
Don't forget the last one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it, so I doubt we're gonna get anywhere that way.
You never know. After taking a look around the room himself, 7 spoke.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah, this
I
looks,
think we probably better split up. You two okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
strange for Lotus to volunteer to actually do some work.
Sure thing.
Because it's like in most of the other... How often has she just been stood around doing nothing? Like when we got locked in the freezer, she was just sat outside, not helping. When we went to look for Snake, she was just stood there looking at her nails. I'm not having a go at her because I don't like her. She's actually all right, but she has a track record of just being a bit selfish and all the rest of it, right?
Then I'll take this first one.
And a bit lazy, perhaps. She's got a pragmatic attitude, but yeah, I think Seven nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him. Seven is definitely a weird one because at times he seems like quite bright, and then he just kind of goes into a bout of like childish humor and stuff. It's a bit odd. He's kind of all over the place. I suppose as someone who is suffering with amnesia might be in terms of their personality, but you know, he flits between angry, intelligent, and childish quite frequently.
I'll try the one next to it.
Right. I take door 3. At last, Junpei was left alone.
Well, I guess I'd better get started too.
No one can hear you, mate. He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. God's sake. At least warn me before you make me snowblind. Confinement room, front hallway. I just wanted to check the flowchart. Yeah, I think this is a end of the road for us. I reckon what might have happened is they might have gone through door 9 without us. Particularly with Santa there. Alright. These look like prison cells. Man, this is a mess. It's not even a bed anymore. Can't say I'd want to sleep there. There's a dirty blanket. The hell? There's a little tile in the drain. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to pull it out of there. Might have to use our heads on this one. Alright, let's figure this thing out. Looks like the water doesn't work. Doesn't matter how much 7 turns the thing, no water's coming out. Has the water been shut off from somewhere else? What the hell's that supposed to be? Like a drawing of a whirlpool or something? Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's trying to look like water. So I guess we need to loosen it with water, perhaps? Toilet paper tube. I seriously doubt I'm going to need this for anything. Well, this part is thinner than the rest. In fact, this doesn't really look like it's part of the rest of this thing. This rod feels loose. Maybe if I give it a couple turns. Here we go. Screwdriver shaft. There's a screwdriver shaft. Missing a handle though. Even if we run into a screw it fits, we're going to have a hard time of it without a handle. Well, if we can find a handle, maybe then it'll do us some good. Thank you. Okay. A symbol on a toilet lid, huh? Seems a little fishy to me. It's a sun symbol, but it doesn't look like the ones on the doors. Damn, this toilet's pretty nasty to begin with, but the inside's even worse. Honestly, I'm amazed you could bring yourself to touch it. Ha! There's way nastier stuff out there in the world than a gross toilet. You're a real deep thinker, aren't you? Okay. Hey, this handle's pretty loose. Loose? You think it'll come off if you pull on it? It fell off. Huh. Look at this. The handle doesn't really fit on the string. Maybe it wasn't meant to be attached to it. Yes. Screwdriver. Take a look at this handle. The inside of the hole's threaded, like you're supposed to screw something in there. You seen anything that might fit in there? So if I just stick the metal rod in the handle... Thank God it's the right kind of screwdriver for that screw. It's almost like this whole puzzle's been designed by someone for us to solve. Awesome, we can totally use it. Damn, this screwdriver looks like a soldering iron. You think it's some sort of industrial grade screwdriver? Guess that doesn't really matter. Anyway, as long as we've got this thing, we can unscrew any Phillips screws we run into. Right. There's a partition. Maybe it's for privacy? No. Chair's pretty old. If 7 sat on it, it'd probably break. Huh, you say something? Nothing at all. What the hell? It's not opening. Yeah, it's screwed shut. Yeah. Something up with this drawer. I don't trust it. Oh, there we go. Sweet, got the screws off. Now we can open the drawer. There's nothing in here. Well, maybe the drawer's what we need. The drawer, huh? Alright, let's yank the thing out. There's a bump on the back. I wonder what it's for. Maybe there's a hole somewhere and these bumps line up with it and trigger a hidden switch or something. Hey, we've seen weirder stuff. Don't seem that far-fetched. Sure. Right, that's it for in here, I think. Another whirlpool. Or a towel. Well, it looks like a towel. I have to wonder if the design means anything though. Maybe you should consider what the design might be. Perhaps that'll give us a hint. Cold bed. Pretty sure you'd freeze to death in the winter. No kidding. If I tried to sleep here, my skin would dry out in no time. Well, it's not like you're that young anymore. That shouldn't really matter. My margin pay, aren't you lucky? It seems you'll die before you have a chance to grow old and hideous. I'm sorry, you're right. Dry skin is a woman's worst enemy. But putting your foot in it, Junpei. Drain's kind of a weird shape for a drain. You think they made it that shape for a reason, or just for fun? No knob on the faucet. No way we can get water out. If we can find a knob or something that'll work as one, then we should be able to get water to come out of this thing. So these sinks, they're on opposite sides of the wall, right? No, it's not just the sinks. Everything's opposite, like a mirror image. So that's normal if you're both using the same water pipes, right? This looks like part of the design on the towel. Do you think that means anything? On the towel, it looks like the water's flowing from the river to the spring. Do you think that means we need to make water flow from here? This is a bit of a ham-fisted puzzle, but... Paper seems to be pretty old. Oh, how the hell can you touch that? It's horrible. Well, it's not like I've really got a choice, do I? It's not like I want to. Oh, old and kind of grossing me out. Nothing suspicious. A moon symbol. A moon? What's a filthy, disgusting moon? Yeah, it's pretty filthy, but it's a precious hint. Let's remember it, alright? I refuse to touch this, I refuse! What the hell's wrong with you? I don't want to touch it, ever. Right, fine. No one's asking you to. Just hanging from the wall. Well, if we're pulling the string, then it must be a toilet that flushes. Right. There's nothing in the drawer. Yeah. Something not right, though. The handle on that drawer doesn't really fit, you know? It just looks messy. Why don't you take it out? If I use this screwdriver on the screw in the center of the handle, maybe I can take it out. Well, that came off easy enough. Looks like the faucet handle. Yeah, seemed a little weird to put the wooden drawer like this. I'm sure they made it look odd on purpose with a shape like that. There's only one place it could go. I did like something falling. What was that? I heard it too. Let's open the drawer. Got it. What's this tile for? Red, blue, grey, several lines in each colour. What does it mean? This looks like a puzzle from Tunic. Your guess is as good as mine. Alright. Solve this one quicker than usual. I feel good. This drain's a really weird shape for a drain. Sweet! The handle I got off the drawer fits onto the faucet perfectly. Now I can turn the water on. What are you doing? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm running the water. I can see that. I'm asking why you're just letting it run like that. Think about it, Lotus. Plus, it didn't have a knob when we found it, right? What do you mean? Just watch. Any time now. Water's filling up! Doesn't that mean the pipes are clogged? Whoops, let's turn it off for now. So did anything change? The water stopped flowing. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Oh, Junpei, I'm leaving this one to you, alright? Well, thanks for coming along. And we need to go back to the other room. Take a look at this tile here. See, if you look real close, the 3 red lines here on the top are on top of the other ones. The red lines? Yeah. Both tiles are the same, I believe. Huh? Junpei put the wet tile in his pocket. He was about to turn away when there was a noise behind him.
What the?
He collapsed. He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead.
Hey, what's going on? Are you okay, man? You're sweating like crazy. Are you all right?
He was concerned. He'd never seen Seven like this before. Slowly, the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little dizzy, that's all.
Feel that champagne? His face was pale, and his breathing was heavy. Obviously, no, it's the amnesia. Sweat was pouring off his face and staining his shirt.
That's definitely more than just a little dizzy. Are you sure? You don't look so good.
Seven didn't answer. Half of his face was twisted, as if distorted by extreme pain, and his eyes were glazed. Finally, he spoke.
What am I doing here?
Oh. No way. So he has anterograde amnesia because he's forgotten his short-term memory's gone. Whereas he's been remembering things from way in the past quite easily, right? Interesting. I do have a story about someone with this kind of amnesia. When I had quite a bad concussion and I was in a head injuries unit in hospital. But I'll save that for later.
Huh?
His words made no sense.
What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot.
No, that's not what I mean.
No. He shook his head several times as if trying to clear something from it.
It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back. I think I've been here before.
No way. So is he like a permanent contestant in these games? Maybe everyone is.
Huh?
I said I've been in this room before.
You were here? When? Why?
Aoi. Lai Nona.
Let me write that down. Aoi. Light. And Nona. These sound like names of people. Now, obviously, I have noticed because when I loaded this game up, because the games are released in a pair, the cover art for Virtue's Last Reward is on the right-hand side with its cast of characters. I've not really looked at it in detail, but it's a similar-ish cast of people, right? There's lead male character, looks like he's in his 20s with black hair, a couple of female characters who aren't wearing very many clothes, a young looking girl with pigtails, a really big guy stood in the back but he has a mask on, An older, middle-aged guy, similar to Ace. So I just thought, because after we learnt about the dual Nonary game thing, I just wondered maybe if like the next game is adjacent to this, is the game that's adjacent to this game. Suddenly, Seven was mumbling to himself. They were words Junpei didn't understand. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he'd said.
What the hell was that?
Seven's brow furrowed furiously, and he ground his teeth back and forth.
It's right there. I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just can't.
Seven stopped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran a hand through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide.
That's right, an experiment. There was some kind of experiment going on this ship.
An experiment? What sort of experiment?
They were trying to control people. Or something like that.
What the hell are you talking about?
Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's story. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued.
Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment, I mean. I think there were 4 or 5 more, but I don't remember all their names. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here.
Seven began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly about the room. He looked confused. So far as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling, and there were odd twitches to his movement.
Experiment. Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Those kidnapped kids.
Cradle. That's a bit on the nose. Cradle. Cradle Pharmaceuticals. They literally steal the babies from the cradle and experiment on them. I would not have spelt pharmaceuticals that way if you asked me to spell it. Kidnap kids.
Was I working that case?
Oh, he was a detective. Maybe. Or an officer. Seven continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei.
Huh?
Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to Seven. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, Seven finally stopped.
Wait, under this bed.
He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face registered mild surprise, and he began to mumble to himself again.
The home's gone? No, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on this bug that look just like this one.
At last, Junpei could contain himself no longer.
Hey, what exactly do you remember? Maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person and tell me what's going on here.
Don't call him crazy, man. Seven stood up slowly.
Well, it's not like I really remember everything.
Exactly.
I've only got bits and pieces, and they're scattered and don't make much sense.
I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces then.
Oh, Junpei, have some compassion. Junpei could feel it. Whatever Seven had remembered, it was very, very important.
Okay.
Seven drew a large, muscled hand across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke.
From what I can remember, I think I was a cop.
A cop?
Yeah. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago. You remember that, right? It was all over the news.
Yeah, I was still in school.
Still in pedal pushers.
I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why. It was all over TV and the newspapers every day. So you're saying you were investigating it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And I guess I found something. There was this medical company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. I think it was...
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Yeah, that had to been it. That's why I went to the wharf.
Nice.
In the shadows, I searched the harbor until I found the ship he was talking about.
Got all the Agent Smiths.
There was a bunch of movement there. Men in black suits, many of them were carrying large bags. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. No doubt about it. There were human beings in those bags. I moved before I realized it. I came out of hiding with my gun already in my hand. Don't move. I felt metal touch the back of my head. Drop the gun.
Solid Snake?
I kept digging the cold metal thing into my skull. There was nothing I could do. Did what he said and laid my gun on the ground. Then suddenly, there was a sharp pain in my neck. A needle. A drug. That was my last thought. My face hit cold concrete. I was out like a light after that.
Wow.
I woke up on a hard floor. Damn it. Shit, my head hurts. Where am I? A small, shabby bed, a dirty sink.
No way.
A toilet with no privacy. I'd seen it countless times as a cop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did some work experience with a barrister. Where we went around a lot of prisons to see people who had, had a legal case with the barrister. Went to a Category C prison. Went to a women's prison. But I remember the beds were just like that. The mattress was just awful. It was quite an old prison. Like we went like right in the wing, and spoke to the guy through the door. He'd been arrested for like trying to run over a police officer. He was caught. He'd got pulled over, and he was in possession of quite a lot of drugs that were not personal use amount of drugs, like for distribution amount of drugs. And as the police officer had walked in front of his car, he put his foot down to try and hit him and drive off. But the police officer jumped onto the bonnet of the car, and he couldn't shake him off, and he had to stop. He couldn't shake him off, so I think he got done for the possession and for assaulting I guess attempted murder of a police officer in a way, I suppose, but maybe just assault of a police officer. But he couldn't shake the copper off the front of the car. And I think if he was going to be able to shake him off the front of the car, might have ended up killing him. So I guess he just decided it wasn't worth it. But yeah, that's what this room reminded me of.
I'm in a cell, huh?
Look at this get-up. Look how sharp he looks. Mustard coat. The white Chelsea boots. Flare-cut slacks. But you should take some lessons from Seven, Junpei.
Facing the toilet was a door set into the wall.
I mean, even now he's dressed kind of pretty slick, right? With the dungarees and everything, and the coat with the stripe down the arm.
I was still pretty woozy, but I made my way over to it.
It's not a coat, it's like a fleece. Sorry, I'm too interested in clothes.
I pushed and pulled on it, but... it won't open. Not like I expected much else. Would be dumb enough to put me in a cell and leave it unlocked. Threw myself against the door a few times, but it wouldn't budge. I knew it. I gave up and made my way back to the bed, and sat down. I sat there for a very, very long time. Who knows how long. Then, I heard a faint voice.
No way! People playing the Nonary Game.
The voice was far away. I couldn't understand what it was saying. But I could hear one. It was pretty high, probably a little kid. Huh? No, it was several.
Yeah, they're looking for the dead.
I hear 5 or 6, maybe more. Where? Where are they coming from? I pressed my ear to the wall and tried to listen through it. No, that's not it. Left. It's coming from under the bed? I hauled on the metal frame and flipped the thing over. And there it was. The bed had hidden an air vent under it. The hole in the wall was covered by a metal grate.
So now he's got a lot of scars on his face, right?
I dropped flat on the floor and peered through the grate. I couldn't see shit, but I knew it in my gut. This was where those voices were coming from. Hold on. Why are there kids here? But then what my inside man told me popped into my head.
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I on that ship? It didn't matter. All I knew was I had to get to those kids. I checked out the metal grate. Could I fit? I stuck my fingers in and grabbed it. And then... Yeah! How do you like that, you son of a bitch? I finally got the damn thing off. Sweat was dripping down my face, so I wiped it off and crawled inside.
Yeah. Hands down, 7 gets the award for best fashion in Zero Escape so far. Past 7, slick. Current 7, even better, man. I like the fleece. I like the dungarees. I like the beanie. He's pulling it. He's repping it pretty good. Junpei, absolute worst. Junpei waited for 7 to resume his story. So interestingly, I know that is it like the lead character for Virtue's Last Reward? I'm only doing this based on the little pre-launch window that comes up when you press play on the game for Steam. The lead character is wearing like a traditional American police officer's uniform. I don't know if Japanese police officers wear like an all royal blue or royal blue, navy blue kind of uniform. So I'm not sure. But the longer he waited, however, the clearer it became that 7 had no intention of doing so. He'd gone silent and simply stared off into the air, his eyes blank.
Hey, what happened after that?
He'd waited long enough, but 7 shook his head.
I don't remember what happens after that. I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. And I think I found some kids, too. Not good. Why can't I remember what happened next?
Ah, man, what happened to the kids, 7?
Yeah, come on!
Did you save them?
I don't know. I don't know if it was me.
Doubtful, because he's back playing the Nonary game.
I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died. A girl, I think.
Huh?
Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cold. 7's head dropped and Junpei saw on it a look of sadness, the likes of which he'd never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly as if he were fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. His sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke.
Anyway, just please don't ask me anymore, okay?
Alright, mate.
I really don't remember anything else.
After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the other man.
It's fine. Don't push yourself. Going by what he said?
Junpei left 7 to pull himself together, and instead began thinking everything over.
The children who had been kidnapped 9 years before? Apparently, a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals had been behind it all. They'd taken the children to the same ship we're on now. They'd been brought here for an experiment. Seven said it had something to do with controlling human beings. The 16 children who had been kidnapped were the subjects. Seven had said 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. I think that's all I got. Oh, and Seven is, or was at some point, a cop. I can't really use any of this information anyway. I didn't learn anything about the Nonary Game or Zero. Why were we brought to the same ship where they'd done those experiments 9 years ago? And just what the heck is this about controlling human beings? That's nuts. Did they really conduct an experiment like that?
Before long, Junpei realized he'd spent quite some time deep in thought.
I don't have time to just stand here thinking. I need to get moving.
Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. Fascinating. So it seems like, at the moment, I'd say maybe that's 3 people who have been a part of a Nonary game before. I'd definitely say Snake and Clover have been in a Nonary game before, and now it seems like 7 might have been participating in Nonary games for the past 9 years. I don't know whether they would have maybe released him and captured him again, just because of the, you know, the number 9 stuff. You know, him being here 9 years later, but no one else, I don't think, has amnesia, so that would suggest he's maybe been in a perpetual cycle of Nonary games. Right, let's try this room. Ah! God damn it! No matter how hard I pull on this damn thing, it won't budge. Guess I won't be opening it anytime soon. Doesn't look like it's got a keyhole, and there doesn't seem to be anything stopping it. How the hell am I supposed to open it? Via an abstract method. The light's barely enough to see by. I feel like I'm going to see a ghost in here or something. It's a blanket. Nothing, not great, but still. Nothing underneath. It's a sink, but there's a light shining on it. It's hard to see. It's hard to be sure because it's so dark in here, but I don't think there's anything going on with this sink. The faucet's too hard to turn. On the other room, the river and the spring went together to solve the puzzle. Does that mean there might be a similar puzzle with this mirror? Well, there's nothing else here apart from the mirror. Maybe I just need to pair something with it. I can just barely see a mirror from the light coming through the ceiling. Sure would be nice if that mirror was a little lower down. Looks as if it's the same height as the mirror on the right. Wonder if that means anything. Maybe this is the room Seven was in and he moved the mirrors. Well, he wasn't in here for that long, I don't think. Toilet paper. Still white enough for me to know what it is, even in the dark. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it. 14 equals E. There's 14 equals E in red. I think I saw 14 in red somewhere else. Is it on something I'm carrying around with me? It's like a dirty toilet, it's too dark to tell. I can just barely make out the string for the toilet, but I can get a hold of it. Damn it. Kind of pisses me off that I can't see it, but I can't touch it. Alright. What the hell are you talking about, man? Okay. No, not put the other one in. The drawing on the mirror looks just like the part of the design on the towel. And the design on the tile was a river and a spring, right? If the picture on this mirror is a spring, and it's talking about the water in the sink, so it's trying to show water flowing from the river and gathering in the spring. What are you going on about? Maybe you ought to explain. Forget about the puzzle we already solved. We need to look for new ones. Yeah. Don't know where to look. So it's still a terrible bed. I'd never sleep on a bed like that. Right, I have absolutely no clue. Oh yeah, there's this door. The emergence. Oh god! There are a bunch of tiles on the door that spell out emergence. Maybe it means we need to emerge out of here. 1, 2. The tiles we found and the tiles here are the same size. When I touched the tiles on the door, I felt something weird. Huh. Can I move these tiles? If you swap out the tiles we got with the tiles on the wall, something will happen. I suppose now, we just need to figure out what strange designs on the tiles mean. At any rate, we should look for all of the tiles that are the same size. You're right, let's meet back here after we've done a thorough search. What the hell? I have the tiles! There's a door in the back, I wonder where it goes. I thought of that, I tried a couple of things, but yeah, same result. Guess 7 wasn't about to do anything, oh well. What the hell are you talking about, dude? What's the deal with the lighting here? There's just this one beam of light. The rest of the place is too dark, I can't see anything. There's no way we can explore the rest of this room. What? What do you want me to do? Oh, I need the towel. Oh. No. Oh yeah, we can probably use this mirror to reflect the light. Now I just got to figure out where to reflect the light. Maybe if I go somewhere that's a little easier to shine light on. So if I shine the light on the mirror in the back, I get it. If I shine on a mirror, symbols appear. The left side has a sun, and the right has a moon. I've got to remember this. Sun on the left, moon on the right. And I get to see some numbers. I can see 4 on the left, 4 on the left, 7 on the right. Four and 7. Okay. Well, I am very confused. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all the information. Sun 4, Moon 7. Wow, I am confused. I don't think I found anything else to interact with. I can't even brute force it. Oh. Did that do anything? Second pull. Did you just hear something? I did, but it doesn't look like anything's happened here. Huh, wonder what that sound was. No way. Toilet's disgusting. Don't expect me to touch it, do you? If you don't want to, then I'll do it, alright? Oh. Something must have unlocked in here then. Okay, maybe it was in this toilet. Oh, what? What am I doing wrong? Or what am I not doing at all? Ay, ay, ay. Someone wouldn't trigger it by accident if that's the case. Yep, keep pushing. Oh wait. Moon 7. Yes. A toilet puzzle. There's that sound again. Happens whenever I pull that string a couple of times. No, 7 times. Junpei, did you hear something from the other room? You mean from the dark room? Yes, I certainly did. Wow, I'm not good at working these puzzles out, man. Thank you. Bunch of weird lines. I don't get it. Don't think I can figure this out on my own. Let's go. Okay, well, looks like we've investigated all the rooms. The only mystery left is that door. Alright, let's crack the mystery. We've got 4 tiles. There are a bunch of tiles that are the same size up on the wall here. So if we replace 4 of the tiles on the wall with the ones we've got, we should open the door. Well, there's only one way to find out. 14 equals E. That's all I've got. We'll replace all the E's. I'm a genius! Hey, did you just hear something unlock? Does that mean we got it right? Yeah, it looks like we did. The 14 hidden on the tile. You convert that to hexadecimal, it's an E. Basically, the E's in emergence are the 14s from the tiles. Yeah, that's how I worked it out. So if we replace it, that gives up the answer. Do you really care why it worked? Let's just get out of here. Let's go. Right, gonna have to leave it there, guys, because I've run over time. Interesting, really interesting. I wonder if 7 would have told us more, if we wouldn't have betrayed everybody by going into door 3. Maybe he would have trusted us a bit more. Interesting. I'm very intrigued about door. Well, obviously, if we come through here in the other scenario, we probably don't get to talk to Clover either. But But maybe Lotus doesn't want to go through this with us here, so maybe Ace and Santa can come with us. Let's just check that. So if Ace, Clover, Santa, us, and 7 come through to door 2, that would leave June. Oh wait, what? Oh, there's only 7 of us left. What am I talking about? Anyway, ignore me. Interesting, really interesting learning about him being, like, abducted 9 years ago. Has he been in captivity all this time doing, like, constant cycles of Nonary games? Or did he just get released? He helped the game and then he's been captured again specifically for this game because it's 9 years later. Who knows? So we'll pick it up from here next time. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Leave me a thumbs up if you did. And just remember, everybody, never trust. And on crate, I'll see you next time.